Now this, best beloved, is a story of Rabbit, who knocked on many doors and was turned away, and how the ever-wandering sea told him a most peculiar thing. It begins, as most stories do, with a step forward. Rabbit had walked a long way. He had walked past the rolling hills where the heather grew thick and sweet, past the whispering trees of the glen where the wind played, past the winding river that always knew its way. He had walked to the place of stone buildings, where the roads ran straight and the windows blinked like knowing eyes. And because he was a hopeful creature, a creature who believed that somewhere, surely, there was a place for him, Rabbit knocked on a door. A tall man opened it, peering down with a frown. "Excuse me," said Rabbit, straightening his cloak, "but I am looking for a place for my paws and my heart, a place where I might belong." The man stared. "You are a rabbit." "That is true," said Rabbit, "but I am very capable. I can dig splendid tunnels, I can sniff out the sweetest roots, and I am quite good at listening when the wind has something to say." The man shook his head. "This is a bank. Do you have an account?" "I do not think so," said Rabbit, puzzled, "though I have been known to keep a collection of particularly nice pebbles." The man sighed and shut the door. So Rabbit knocked on another. A woman in an apron opened it, holding a wooden spoon. She had flour on her nose and smelt of warm bread. "Excuse me," said Rabbit, adjusting his ears, "but I am looking for a place where I might be useful." She looked him up and down. "You are a rabbit." "That is true," said Rabbit, "but I am very fond of carrots, and I can sniff out the best vegetables. I am also an expert in making cozy burrows, which I am sure is a useful skill in the right situation." The woman sighed. "Do you have experience in a kitchen?" Rabbit thought about the time he had helped Mouse gather wild herbs, and the time he had watched the steam rise from a pot of broth, and the time he had nibbled a particularly delicious piece of lettuce. "Yes," he said, feeling rather confident. "Can you knead dough?" Rabbit held up his soft, furry paws. "Not precisely." "Can you chop onions?" Rabbit twitched his nose. "I am not certain I should be trusted with a knife." "Can you at least wash dishes?" Rabbit hesitated. His paws were very good for digging, but they did not much care for water. The woman sighed and shut the door. And so it went, best beloved. He knocked on the doors of tailors and bakers, of clerks and cobblers, of men in suits and women with important papers, and always the answer was the same. "You are a rabbit. You do not fit. You are not what we need." And so Rabbit wandered away, past the stone streets, past the hills, past the river, all the way to the edge of the world, where the land fell away and the sea stretched out forever. The sea did not ask him what he could do. The sea did not ask him what he could offer. The sea did not turn him away. But neither did it give him the answers he wanted. Rabbit sat on a smooth, salt-worn rock and looked out at the waves, which rolled and sighed as if all was as it should be, as if he had not spent all his trying, as if he was not raw and empty and lost. "I do not need your wisdom," he growled at the waves. "I do not want your soft, kind words." The sea lapped at the shore. "What do you want, then?" Rabbit clenched his paws. "I want to know why I was made like this," he snapped, "with my soft, furry feet that cannot wear shoes, with my twitchy nose that cannot sniff out anything but clover, with my big ears that hear everything except the things I need to know. I want to know why I was made to love the smell of damp earth and the crunch of fresh carrots, to feel happiest when I am bounding through open fields and watching the sky stretch forever, and yet," his voice cracked, "and yet there is no place for me in this world." The sea sighed. "You are not broken, Rabbit." Rabbit's ears flattened. "Then why does it feel like I am?" The tide came in, touched Rabbit's toes, pulled away. "Because you are a thinking creature," the sea murmured. "Because you see what could be, not just what is. Is this the cruelty of life for a thinking being? Ah, best beloved, that is a deep question, one that curls and twists like the tide, shifting with each wave. Rabbit would tell you that it feels cruel, that it feels unfair to carry such longing, to dream in colours too bright for the world to hold, to reach for doors that will never open, to wonder, always wonder, if he was made wrong, if he will ever find his place, if all his trying will ever be enough. And the sea would not argue with him. But the sea has seen many things, more than Rabbit can imagine. And if you were to ask the sea, it would tell you this: it is not cruelty, it is simply the way of things. A tree does not ask why the wind bends it this way and that. A river does not despair when it meets a stone in its path. They do not think as Rabbit does, and so they do not suffer in the way he does. But neither do they wonder or dream or hope, and hope, best beloved, is a hard thing to bear. It is not soft, like moss beneath tired paws. It is not gentle, like the hush of snowfall in the trees. Hope is sharp-edged. It digs into the heart, makes itself at home there, refuses to be quiet. Hope makes Rabbit knock on doors that will never open. Hope makes him stand at the edge of the world, staring at the horizon, believing there must be something more, even when he cannot see it. And that, best beloved, is where the weight of being a thinking creature lies. To be a rabbit who thinks and wonders is to suffer. But to be a rabbit who thinks and wonders is also to see. To see the shape of the clouds, and the way the sea sighs, and the golden glow of firelight on a winter's night. To see the way the wind plays, and the way the world shifts, and the way, when he least expects it, something new will come. Something he did not ask for. Something he did not plan. Something that perhaps is even better than the doors he once knocked upon. So is it cruelty, this life? Yes. And no, it is hard, and it is beautiful, and it is what it is, and all Rabbit can do, all any thinking creature can do, is sit beside the sea, let the longing rest, and wait for whatever comes next.